I'm English teacher Kebab. Remember rule number one, English is a crazy language. Let's talk about the letter I in English today. I is a vowel like the others, A, E, I, O, and U. And like all vowels, I has a long sound. I says its own name. So the word I, like in I am Bob, is always capitalized, but it always says its own name. So there are lots of words that the letter I says its own name. And remember from another video that I made about the letter E, when there's a silent E at the end of a word in English that has a consonant before it, most of the time, there's no such thing as all the time in English, most of the time, the I says its own name. Okay? It doesn't happen that way all the time, but some examples of words that do have E at the end and where the I says its own name is the words life and bite and might and wife. There are lots and lots of words where the letter I says its own name and it has the E at the silent E at the end of the word. Now, like all vowels, the letter I also has a short sound. Now, the short sound is I. The short sound for I is I, not not a. I, like the word if and in and instead and invite. Invite has the long sound and the short sound in it, and it has an E at the end. And then there's is and it and admit and sit and give, which brings me to something you also need to understand. Like I said, a silent E at the end doesn't always make the vowel say its own name. So two examples, the word give, G-I-V-E. The E at the end is silent. There's a consonant before it, but the I does not say its own name. It's give. And then the other is live, L-I-V-E. There's a silent E at the end. There's a V, which is a consonant before it, but it doesn't say live. Well, it does say live. It's also live depending on how you're using it in the sentence. But in this case, it's the word live, like I live in the United States. So it's both. So as usual, remember, English is a crazy language. Rule number one, English is a crazy language. So there's the long sound and the short sound. Now, there's also the ing. When you pair the letter I with ng, it says ing. And it can be at the beginning of a word, it can be at the end of a word, and it can be in the middle of a word. So for instance, the word bring. Also another sound for the letter I. And when it's paired with the letters N and G, it says ing, like in sing and bring and thing and many, many other words that it's pronounced ing. Now, when it's at the end of a word, it also says ing. But here in the United States, for whatever reason, including myself, a lot of Americans don't pronounce that G when it's at the end of a word. Instead of saying going, we say going. Or instead of saying working, we say working. Or if we say singing, we say singing. And the list goes on and on. I'm not saying that's correct because it's not. The correct way to pronounce ing is ing. But many Americans and maybe other people around the world who speak English don't pronounce that G, we just pronounce the in. And so I know it's confusing, but that's just the way it is. Now there's also another way that the letter I is pronounced, an exception. Sometimes it sounds like the letter E, as in machine, I-N-E at the end. Instead of it being machine or machine, it's machine. And then the word magazine ends in I-N-E. And the silent E at the end with a consonant before it, it doesn't say magazine, it's magazine. Don't ask me why. I don't make the rules, but I try to explain them so that you're aware of them. So that's a couple of exceptions. The other exception to the letter I is when it's paired with the letter O before the I. Not after the I, but before the I. O-I says the sound of oi. It's almost like O-E, but we say oi, as in oil, or boil, or avoid, or noise, and poison, and voice. And there are many, many words where the O and the I are together and say the sound of oi. Now, just so you know, when there's an O-Y, just like O-I, it also says oi. But we're not going to talk about Y today. I just want you to know that O-I and O-Y make the same sound, oi. So I hope that's helpful to you. You can visit my website, EnglishTeacherKebab.com, for many other lessons like this. And I'm here to help. I hope you have a good day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good day.